Coming up on CBC Vancouver News. The leader of the BC Conservative Party heads east to Alberta, promising to build closer ties.
What people want to hear is they want to hear that the government's going to look after the economy, that we're going to create jobs.
There's definitely been a bit of a shot in the arm for the Conservatives.
The criticism of the trip and the polling showing a boost for the party. Plus, as FIFA approaches, a glimpse beyond the fence at BC Place.
So this is where a World Cup starts, the stadium pitch.
Ahead of the first match, we show you where the beautiful game will be played and what you need to know about getting around. And they're quiet, powerful, and not always street legal.
To purchase them, it's not illegal. Now, to ride them in a public roadway, that's where the problem arises.
Concern around electric dirt bikes being driven on BC roads.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle Ghoussoub. The new BC Conservative leader has pledged to strengthen ties with Alberta in order to get pipelines built. She made her way to Calgary to make good on that promise. But as Katie DeRosa reports, some are worried about those ties being too close.
BC Conservative leader Carrie Lynn Finlay was in Calgary on Friday, attending a fundraising dinner for Alberta Premier Danielle Smith's United Conservative Party. That trip, though, has attracted criticism.
What people want to hear is they want to hear that the government's going to look after the economy, that we're going to create jobs. Our potential premier is thinking about, well, how do I make Alberta happy? And at a moment when they're talking about separating from the country, I don't think it makes any sense.
Her first major event as leader of the opposition is to travel to Calgary to attend Danielle Smith's partisan fundraiser.
EB has accused Danielle Smith of using the threat of separatism to advance an oil pipeline to BC's coast. In a recent interview with the National Post, Finlay says she understands the frustration that drives Western alienation, and that if she becomes premier, she would maintain economic relations with an independent Alberta.
If this is Ms. Finlay's approach to policy and to our country in this moment as we face threats from south of the border, then that's an election campaign that I'm certainly ready to run.
During the leadership race, Finlay promised stronger ties with Western provinces to get pipelines and other resource projects built.
Less government, more freedom, powerful Western alliances.
Finlay was not available for an interview. The BC Conservatives have surged in popularity according to recent opinion polls. One Leger poll shows the official opposition with a 3-point lead, while a new poll from Research Co. shows the party neck and neck with the governing NDP.
There's definitely been a bit of a shot in the arm for the Conservatives, so there's definitely potential for growth.
Asked about the polling results, EB brushed them off, touting the government's progress on housing affordability and attracting more healthcare workers. Katie DeRosa, CBC News, Victoria.
Final FIFA preparations are underway in Vancouver as the city's first World Cup match is just around the corner. The CBC's Michelle Ghoussoub explains what you need to know about getting around during the tournament.
Starting today, only pedestrians can access Granville Street. As you can see, the city has already begun setting up installations, expanding patios, photo ops, and more. These 5 blocks between West Georgia and Davie Street are closed for the next 7 weeks. Buses and cars will be rerouted to Seymour and Howe Streets, and there are designated areas for temporary loading, taxis, and ride-hailing along the side streets. Closer to the stadium, a section of Pacific Boulevard is already closed and will remain that way until late July. There will be additional road closures surrounding the stadium on match days. Organizers strongly recommend walking, taking transit, or using e-bikes or scooters to get around on game days. Those attending games should approach the stadium from the Main Street Science World SkyTrain station. Buses, SkyTrains, and C-buses will be running with higher frequency and later into the night according to game schedules, with 2 extra bus routes, one that loops downtown and one that shuttles people between the SkyTrain and the Fan Festival at the Peony Amphitheatre in East Vancouver.
This is where Vancouver is really going to shine. You know, you can ride the SkyTrain into the heart of the city, you can take the C-bus across the harbor with the mountains in view, You can come in on West Coast Express from communities across the region.
Just days away from the first match, Vancouver has been ranked by Sports Illustrated as the best World Cup host city. Organizers are encouraging everyone, locals or visitors, with or without a ticket, to take part in the festivities and enjoy the moment. Michelle Ghoussoub, CBC News, Vancouver.
As you just heard, hype around FIFA is growing around the city, and BC Place is going to be the epicenter of the tournament. Tori Charles takes us inside.
$180 million in upgrades, and we're getting that shown off here this morning. On the tour with the media, we're seeing new lounges, new dressing rooms, new elevators, new concourse amenities. And then the big piece for me, and I think a lot of people, is this bright green pitch behind me here. That is a real grass field. You can see the grow lights are on it right now. They have actually someone out there mowing the lawn. We were down at pitch side earlier, and there was that fresh cut grass smell, which, you know, is not usual for BC Place with the synthetic turf it usually has. The roof is actually closed right now, and they say that's how it will be on match days. The roof will be closed to control the climate in here. On non-match days, they'll have it open for sun to hit that grass and help it maintain. The grass grown by an Abbotsford farm that brought the turf here to BC Place. And that's just one of many things. There's a new high-def screen on the Jumbotron. So all these projects all coming together as we are now just 4 or 5 days away from that first game here at BC Place on Saturday. We know Science World is all wrapped up. It now is officially the Trifonda, the World Cup ball. The Peony Amphitheater, where the Fan Fest will be, that just had its grand opening. So all these different things are starting to wrap up at the right time as we get set to host those first matches. There's going to be 7 in total. The overall World Cup starts on Thursday, but then, as I said, the first game is this Saturday. It's a late one. Make sure you can stay up late. It starts at 9 p.m., and that's going to be Australia versus Turkey on Saturday right here at BC Place, the newly renovated. It's got that new stadium smell, if I do say so myself. That's going to be exciting stuff on Saturday and beyond.
Hikers at North Vancouver's popular Grouse Grind Trail were greeted by picketing Metro Vancouver employees, urging the public to avoid the trail and 2 other regional parks as its job action escalates.
Metro Vancouver has certain parks and essential services that we want to make sure that we let the public know that we're here, and we want to get the message to the employer that we're not going away.
The Greater Vancouver Regional District Employees Union's job escalation comes amid stalled contract talks with the district. It has been holding rotating pickets at various wastewater treatment facilities after talks broke off in April. The GVRDEU is asking for better worker safety, retention, and recruitment. The union represents about 600 full-time members, operates the region's 5 wastewater treatment plants, monitors air quality, builds infrastructure, and also maintains trails like the Grouse Grind. Surrey police have arrested a man in connection with an alleged act of mischief after a rainbow crosswalk was vandalized in the city.
There are 3 persons of interest, 3 suspects who were identified on the day of the alleged offense. We are working to determine whether or not grounds or evidence may exist to support charges against those other 2 people.
The Pride crosswalk was vandalized with spray paint on May 30th. The investigation included members of Surrey's major crime unit and the city's hate crime coordinator. 1 suspect has been released from custody on a number of conditions. Police will be forwarding a report to Crown Counsel and say they have already identified the 2 remaining suspects. BC's Parks and Environment Ministry says nobody is hurt following a rockfall at the Stawamus Chief. It happened around 9 a.m. Monday on the Zodiac Wall. The area has seen rockfall events before, including a smaller event back in February. The ministry says there are no closures in effect. They advise visitors to use extreme caution when attending the park. Stage 3 water restrictions are now in effect in Metro Vancouver. It means no lawn watering, no washing your car at home, and no filling up or topping up pools and hot tubs. They're the tightest water restrictions the area has seen in more than a decade. Metro Vancouver says the region uses about 1 billion liters of water each day, and that spikes in the summer.
We Canadians tend to be one of the highest water users on a per person or per capita basis in the world. So we need to be a bit more aware of what we are using, how much we are using, and if there are ways of reducing our consumption. Water is a limited resource, and regardless of how much water is there in northern Canada and different lake systems, that's not always available for urban consumption.
Despite the recent rain, Metro Vancouver says the snowpack is significantly lower than normal for this time of year. And another concern is maintenance. A major water pipe that runs through Stanley Park is shut down so crews can build a new water supply tunnel. Officials say they'll review the Stage 3 restrictions once that pipeline reopens later this summer. Typically, this time of year, people are going all out to create that perfect, lush green lawn. But with drought conditions high in the interior, the Regional District of Okanagan-Similkameen has started a new contest. As CBC's Tiffany Goodwin reports, the Regional District is hoping golden lawns become the new goal this year.
It's gardening season, and that means taking care of the yard. But forget about having the greenest lawn on the block. The Regional District of the Okanagan-Similkameen wants to see your lawn in all its golden glory, and they're even handing out prizes for the best golden lawn.
The purpose of the program is just to encourage water conservation across the region. We are looking for residents to employ some water conservation techniques and snap a photo of their yard.
The province has set the drought rating in the Okanagan to a level 5, the highest rating available because of lower than normal precipitation.
The springs continued to be dry and quite warm, and so the little snow that we did have has melted off very early this year.
But a drought doesn't mean all your yard has to turn golden brown. There are great alternatives that don't need too much water.
This is a great plant. You can see it's a slightly bluey leaf, but another native that's a lovely bush.
Master gardener Karen Boyer says the key is putting in native plants that can withstand the Okanagan heat and drought.
The secret is xeriscaping is not xeroscaping. These plants need a little help to establish, but once they're established, they are tough and they can survive whatever they get thrown at them. Well, pretty much so.
A lot of these plants, again, are pretty hardy, and this is kinnikinnick, and it's a great ground cover.
But for residents with a more conventional yard, the Regional District hopes people will hold off on watering and go for gold. The contest is open until August 15th, and the top prize is $100. Tiffany Goodwin, CBC News, Penticton.
And Steve Jung joins us now for a first look at the weather. Steve, what are you tracking?
Well, Michelle, it was certainly a pretty rainy one today, and we can expect that to continue over the next couple of days. We saw earlier today lots of precipitation falling over parts of the south coast, especially on Vancouver Island, and also in the southern interior and in the southeast. But I don't know if you've noticed, this past weekend there was actually something kind of strange going on. There were periods of very heavy rain. It's actually something we refer to as training, where thunderstorms line up one after another, and then they move over a small geographical area. In this case, over parts of Vancouver, over to Lynn Valley on the North Shore. So every thunderstorm is its own individual cell. Air goes up and then it has to come down. It goes up and then it has to come down. And as it comes down, it was actually feeding into the system behind it. So that's what led to some of that rain that we were seeing this past weekend. We can expect the rain to continue over the next couple of days, especially over Tuesday and Wednesday, scattered at times, but covering much of the province. And then on Thursday, we'll see it over large chunks of the eastern part of the province, as well as here on Vancouver Island and on the south coast, where we are watching fire danger changes. It's trending down overall, but we'll get into that and later, we'll get into that and the 5-day later in the show.
Thanks so much, Steve. They're popping up on city streets and sidewalks. They're fast, quiet, and absolutely not street legal. The rise of the electric dirt bike and how police are trying to crack down. That's next.
I'm Stephen Quinn, and I love living here in Vancouver, BC. It's a city with world-renowned beauty, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. In our new daily podcast, This is Vancouver, we're exploring the diverse range of issues and stories in the city, the good, the bad, and everything in between, as told by the people who live it every day. Don't miss This Is Vancouver, available wherever you get your podcasts, and I'll talk to you soon.
RCMP detachments across BC are raising concerns. More youth are riding electric dirt bikes on public roads. Many models are not street legal under the Motor Vehicle Act. As Tanushi Bhatnagar reports, some officers say that's due to a lack of public education.
That's an electric dirt bike. It's speedy, powerful, and looks cool. This seller says it's everything a teen could ask for.
It's definitely a trend right now. They really want one.
While this e-dirt bike is street legal, many are not.
A lot of them come limited from the factory to 32 kilometers per hour. You know, if unlocked, some of them can achieve 70 or 80 or even more kilometers per hour, but that would be for off-road use generally.
Across the province, RCMP detachments are seeing more and more youth driving electric dirt bikes out on the streets illegally, with some of them getting into trouble. Just last week, this dirt bike was impounded by North Vancouver RCMP from a youth. In the last month alone, they've issued 15 violation tickets.
To purchase them, it's not illegal. Now, to ride them in a public roadway,
that's where the problem arises.
Most e-dirt bikes can only be ridden where ATVs are legal. But on the street, that's a no-go. So what makes an e-dirt bike different from an e-bike that is street legal?
It's got no pedals. You can just put your foot there, but it doesn't pedal. So you need to have operable pedals. The battery is massive. It needs to be maximum 500 watts.
The Ministry of Transportation says e-bike requirements are set out in the Motor-Assisted Cycle e-bike regulation.
As soon as one of those requirements are not met, then it becomes a motor vehicle. It's essentially a motorcycle.
BCRCMP says in many cases, parents aren't aware of these legal details.
I think there's definitely a lack of education in general among our youth, among the parents.
This motorcyclist says authorities should find a safe way to let teens ride these.
If the general public wants to ride these, let's find a way for it to happen safely. Maybe we need a different speed limit for them, maybe we need a riding area, but I think there's a solution there for sure, instead of just, pulling kids over or chasing them down in a police car.
According to the Motor Vehicle Act, riding some illegal e-dirt bikes on roads can result in fines of up to nearly $600 and vehicle impoundment. Tanushi Bhatnagar, CBC News, Vancouver.
With warmer weather, the BC Coroner Service is putting a spotlight on outdoor safety. A new report says there have been an average of 14 deaths a year due to hiking and climbing in BC, with some of the highest numbers coming from the East Kootenays. Amber Wang has the details.
The mountains around East Kootenay are part of what brings people here. But local search and rescue crew says the same backcountry can become dangerous quickly when something goes wrong. In 2025, there were 4 hiking and climbing related deaths in the region. That was the second highest number in the province. Peter Reed is a search manager with Kimberley Search and Rescue. He says the same rugged backcountry that brings people to East Kootenay can also become risky when something goes wrong.
One of the things I love about living in these Kootenays is I can go for a hike or a skin on my skis and not see anybody all day. That for me is a wonderful thing to experience. However, if I was hurt or injured, that becomes a bad thing very quickly.
Reed says people often underestimated the time, effort, and changing weather that comes with traveling in mountains.
Connectivity, as soon as you step away from the corridor, you have no cell service. So we have no way, unless you have a satellite device, we have no way of communicating with you.
In Cranbrook, Nelson Augustine says people preparing for a day outside should start with basics: a map, proper footwear and clothing, and a way to communicate if they lose cell service.
I think it more comes down to respecting the outdoors and not to avoid it, but to just be aware and prepare yourself for it if you have any encounters.
Also important, researching your route before heading out, staying on the trail, and packing for conditions.
As soon as you're in trouble, please call. So I encourage people to call earlier than later. So if you think you're in trouble, now's the time to call and ask for help. It gives us time to find you.
The message from officials and local outdoor voices is simple: plan ahead before heading out. Amber Wong, CBC News, Cranbrook.
Yesterday was the kind of day where if you didn't like the weather, you just waited a few minutes. A mix of just about everything up in Stawamus yesterday. But what does this week have in store? Well, Steve Jung will have your full forecast coming up. Canada has a new Governor General. Louise Arbour has been sworn in as the King's 31st representative in Canada. She takes the reins at Rideau Hall after a lifetime of work in law and human rights. The CBC's Marina von Stackelberg has details of the day's events.
Canada's new Governor General is officially sworn in a ceremony fit for a king. Louise Arbour, after all, now represents the monarchy as Canada's head of state. Her first message was one of unity.
Extreme polarization is dangerous, but so is extreme consensus. It is through our differences and our fundamental right to express them that we will nourish critical thinking, creativity, and innovation.
As a representative of Canada, she'll hold many responsibilities, both ceremonial and operational. She is now Commander-in-Chief of the military, and her signature will be on every new law the government passes.
These duties call for sound judgment, deep learning, and an unwavering commitment to the rule of law, the very principles on which our new Governor General, Her Excellency Louise Arbour, has built her exceptional career.
Arbour has already had a lifetime of accomplishments. They include Supreme Court Judge, Chief Prosecutor for International Criminal Tribunals, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights. Arbour gave a heartfelt thank you to her predecessor, Mary Simon, Canada's first Indigenous Governor General.
She has reminded us that reconciliation is a lifelong journey that begins with listening and with empathy.
Those who know Arbour say she'll bring her own empathy and energy to the job.
We don't think we are perfect, but we believe we're pretty well on the way there.
Each one is much like another.
Arbour's message even reflected in her choice of music, a children's song about how even despite our differences, we are all alike. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
Pierre Poilievre has made his pitch for national unity. He says the best way to thwart the separatist movement in Alberta is for Ottawa to free up resources, build pipelines, and respect provincial autonomy. Rafi Boudjikanian has more on the Conservative leader's speech in Calgary.
The first federal leader to address Alberta separatism on the province's turf since its premier announced the referendum question, not the Prime Minister.
You don't need a federal government to put up a stop sign, approve a mine, build a road or a hospital that is only inside one province. You do need it to clear the way for a railway or a pipeline that crosses many provinces.
The official opposition leader reaching out to a movement he says is born of anger at specific federal government policies, not the idea of Canada itself.
Let's lock arms with Saskatchewan and Newfoundland and Labrador to double oil production by replacing C-48 and C-69, the anti-pipeline and anti-energy laws.
An Alberta court recently overturned an approval by the province's electoral body of a question on separation, arguing it violates Indigenous peoples' treaty rights. The Alberta government is not only appealing that decision, but Premier Danielle Smith has placed a question on a referendum ballot for October, asking voters if they want to stay in Canada or agree there should eventually be a vote on separation.
We believe that when an issue is important to Albertans, they should have a way of putting those ideas forward. Kicking the can down the road would only prolong a very emotional debate.
A debate this country's twice had before over Quebec. The Prime Minister who led Canada through the last unity crisis says sounding an alarm now may be premature.
So it's a problem that it is with us since a long time, but it is a marginal problem in my judgment.
Political observers say polling bears that out for now.
Separatism is below 30%. Is that marginal? It's still hundreds of thousands of people. We don't know how things occur in a campaign, right? There's lots of things that could, turn it. We're going to see, and we already have massive disinformation.
One decision all Albertans will watch closely, whether or not the federal government says a new pipeline is in the national interest, a call it's set to make in October, just weeks before the referendum itself.
Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Ottawa.
On the cusp of a possible boom in AI centers, Canadians are being warned, pay close attention now. That's advice from people with experience just south of the border. Our Radio-Canada colleague Anaïs El-Boudjani shows us why.
And I don't want an AI center to take any of our water.
Is this the best way we could be using our limited water resources right now?
A lot of AI technology is actually already integrated into our lives.
If we have no water, we have no future.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Mike. Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Oregon. Welcome to the Dalles. So this is one of Google's large data centers in the Dalles. You can see it's an enormous building. Google built its first large data center in 2006.
In 2021, journalist Mike Rogoway and the newspaper The Oregonian were sued by the municipality because they were trying to disclose water consumption numbers by the local Google data center. The municipality said it was trade secret. Since then, it's a battle they've partially won.
Google reversed a long-standing policy in which they had refused to disclose how much water most of their data centers all over the world used. We're able to see the historical information, but we're not able to tell what the impacts will be, what the company and the city expect the impacts will be in the future.
In British Columbia, the development of these facilities is presented as clean, since the data centers will be using a limited amount of hydroelectricity. Data centers get hot. To bring the temperatures down, an evaporative cooling system works in 2 stages. Liquids cool the computers and internal components, but to expel the heat, especially during hot weather, the water is evaporated. One study estimates that 80% of the water used in data centers in the US is drawn from drinking water, which is still less than other industries.
Last year, for example, Google used more than 550 million gallons of water in this small city. That's 40% of all the water in the city total.
According to a 2022 analysis by Bloomberg News, close to 2/3 of data centers built in the United States were built in water-stressed areas that are dry, and that raises concerns for certain residents. Not far outside the Dalles is Yakama Nation. Wilbur Slockish is a hereditary chief there and part of the Klitikat tribe. He's worried about the strain on water in the Columbia River.
Data centers and all of the industrial practices are altering the food supply chain by heating the water up. So that's my fear. And when the salmon are gone and not no more, we'll lose our identity.
We're heading to Boardman in Oregon. It's a municipality that has been struggling with contaminants in its water for almost half a century. The pollution comes from mainly the agricultural sector, but since data centers have been implemented in the region, the problem has gotten worse. It's an issue for Caleb Lay, who works for a grassroots organization called Oregon Rural Action.
Right over here is one of the Amazon hyperscale data centers that's under construction. They take in water, they evaporate a lot of that water off, so as they cycle that water through, the contaminants that are in it to start get more and more concentrated as we go. And meanwhile, we can't find resources to get people clean drinking water in their homes. It's just absurd.
In a statement to CBC, Amazon says that the groundwater quality issues existed long before they opened their data centers, and that the water they use to cool their facilities in Oregon, well, they use it less than 7% of the year. They also say our data centers draw from the same water supply as other local residents. We don't add nitrates to that water, and the water we return represents a very small fraction of the region's overall system. In BC's interior, a handful of new data centers are on the way. Some people who live here are worried about how they will impact the community. Del Bass, a Kamloops city councillor, says the region is already experiencing water scarcity.
The river's not going up as high as it used to years ago because the snowpack's not the same, because we're in climate change. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people are worried. A lot of people don't want to see the river hurt. And that's a combination of not knowing and the fact that this is new.
This is the new data center.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it yet?
No. No, I didn't know they were building it, but they're building it.
Companies behind the facilities say these data centers will be different. They won't draw from town water and instead will use a closed-circuit cooling system.
We want these facilities to fit in the communities they're in and to not bother our neighbors. And so
we're designing them in a very thoughtful way that is very community friendly. So no sound, no water use, no pollution coming off of them.
And government is on board.
To build the economy of the future at a time when the political realignment is happening as fast as the technological acceleration.
Still, there's pushback from groups who say the facilities are unjustifiable, especially in proposed places like Vancouver. But people close to the projects, like Andrea Lee, a special advisor on artificial intelligence at Thompson Rivers University, say there is a way for more efficient data centers to be scaled up, providing a net benefit for all.
So on the research side, lots of benefits. And I understand that there is also the environmental concerns. As someone who's been working in AI for quite some time and knowing how data centers like the ones in the US are built, I do believe that we have a big opportunity to lead by example and really set a gold standard for how this could be done really well.
At a time when it feels like everything's moving so fast, observers in the US say it's important to keep asking questions.
If somebody is coming and wants resources from your community, try to understand how they're going to use them, how that might change in the future, and how that's going to impact the rest of the community.
Fighting in the Middle East ramped up quickly on Sunday, with Israel and Iran trading fire for the first time in 2 months. But after hours of fighting, both countries said they were backing away from additional strikes, at least for now. Still, new concerns have emerged that the region could be plunged back into a full-scale war. Crystal Goumansing has more.
Both Iran and Israel appear to be ready to stand down less than 24 hours after a series of intense strikes and counterstrikes. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu speaking to those in Israel in Hebrew, saying he is prepared to stop the strikes on Iran. However, he warns that Israel has the right and will defend itself.
במידה שמשטר הטרור יעשה את הטעות ויחזור לתקוף אותנו, נגיב בעוצמה, כי לישראל יש זכות מלאה להגנה עצמית, ואנו מממשים אותה ככל שהדבר נדרש.
Iranian officials also said that they are prepared to halt all airstrikes on Israel. A similar message from the Iranian president, Masoud Pezeshkian, who said that the defense will continue, that it is a national priority, but they will also not walk away from diplomacy. So currently, despite the fact that there has been an exchange of airstrikes between Israel and Iran, both sides appear to be stepping down. U.S. President Donald Trump has been very active, not only speaking to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the phone, but sharing a lot on social media as well. At one point, he said that both sides, Israel and Iran, are looking to do an immediate ceasefire. Final negotiations on peace are proceeding, subject to ignorance or stupidity getting in the way. He also said that the blockade will remain in place and in full effect until a final deal is reached, that things should move quickly. Of course, there he's talking about the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, it is unclear where any sort of peace agreement stands right now. Iran has been very clear that it does not want to see any more strikes by Israel in Lebanon. Israel says it has been striking Lebanon, specifically areas it says are being used by the Iranian-backed proxy Hezbollah in order to ensure the safety of Israeli residents. Crystal Goumansing, CBC News, Jerusalem.
A second quarantine zone has been established in Kamloops, aimed to stop the spread of a Japanese beetle threatening turf fields in that city. The story is next.
So I know when I really like a song, if within the first 3 seconds, I'm already vibing to it.
Hey, I'm Rohith Joseph. Vibin' is the new show all about discovering great new songs and fresh artists from across BC and beyond.
It's not one person dictating what good music is, it's the community sharing what good music is.
Stream Vibin' on CBC Listen.
An invasive Japanese beetle is threatening the health of turf fields in Kamloops. The city has put a second quarantine zone in place to try and stamp out the spread of the plant-eating pest. As the CBC's Shelley Joyce reports, gardeners and landscapers are keeping a close eye out for hitchhiking insects.
Basil is going to give me about 24 jars of pesto. Yes. Number one crop.
Wendy Loringer is preparing the soil for planting at this community garden in downtown Kamloops. It's one of the designated areas where the city is trying to put a foot down on the spread of an invasive Japanese beetle.
I think being a community garden, there are a lot of people in here every day, so maybe there'd be a chance of taking it out of the garden.
Trading plants, sharing produce, and even entering and exiting this garden all need to be done with care. The Japanese beetle is what they call a hitchhiker. They fly poorly and mostly spread by hitching a ride on unsuspecting hosts or by hiding in dirt attached to the roots of a plant. Loringer is fastidious about how she takes produce home.
So I would grab a bunch of that and rinse it off right here, look at it, give it a rinse, put it in a bag, and then take it home and wash it again.
Gardeners here have been warned not to pull out plants with dirt attached to the roots and move them to other parts of the city, like West Side, where a new quarantine zone has been established.
We just focus on Japanese beetle.
Beth Lucier is with the city of Kamloops. She says the Japanese beetle is deceptively pretty to the unsuspecting landscaper.
Japanese beetle, they have a green metallic head to them, a brown body. They're typically about the size of a fingernail, so this is like a common size for Japanese beetle adults. But the most distinguishing feature about them is they have white tufts of hair that line the lower abdomen.
I would just be on the lookout for the beetles themselves, especially.
The city of Kamloops takes direction from the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, and they work closely with the Ministry of Agriculture to trap, treat, and educate the public.
This is a Japanese beetle trap. This is what is used to capture the adult beetles. They will be attracted by the lure and then will eventually fall into the bottom of the trap. Typically, these will be
the data collected will help the Canadian Food Inspection Agency to keep tabs on the population of the beetle. Hotspots in the city will be sprayed with a larvicide. The grubs love to munch on the nice, juicy root system of this turf, so golf courses, soccer fields, all at risk and costly to replace. The adult beetle attacks over 300 species of plants, defoliating both the leaves and the flowers.
So if you're looking at this leaf, if you were to come across, there's the veins running down the leaf, so the areas in between those veins would be eaten away. So you'd be left with just a skeleton of that leaf. If you do see something like that in your garden or in a park, then that's something you definitely want to report.
The Japanese beetle was first detected in BC in 2017 when it was found in Vancouver. More recent hotspots have been Port Coquitlam and Kamloops. Anyone who detects a Japanese beetle should report it to the Canadian Food Inspection Agency for surveillance and monitoring. Gardener Wendy Loringer is making sure that she's not part of the problem.
If it was in here, I would see it. Yeah, I'm down in the dirt. If there was a beetle in here, I would have seen it. Yeah, so far so good.
Shelley Joyce, CBC News, Kamloops.
And Steve Jung joins us for a look at the forecast. Steve, feels like we've had a lot of weather the past few days.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot. Different conditions kind of cycling in and out. And then,
you get a whole lot of rain. And it looks like that's going to be the case as we go through the next couple of days and get past the midweek point. Over Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll have a lot more rain coming to the province, and we'll see it kind of scattered at times, but covering the north, central, and southern parts of the province. Then as we get to Thursday, we'll see a whole lot more of it actually coming to the province here, especially on that eastern half of BC. We'll also see some of that making its way to Vancouver Island and the south coast and parts of the southern interior, which is actually a pretty good sign. We do have some accumulations of rain as we look over the next couple of days. Not a whole lot for most of the south coast, between 10 to 15 millimeters of accumulation, a bit higher in places like Abbotsford and in Hope in the Fraser Valley. And then as we get through Wednesday, we'll see accumulations of a bit more, kind of staying in that same range, but a bit more in the Fraser Valley in Abbotsford and in Hope. We'll see 33 millimeters of rain there, 25 in Hope. Let's take a look at something else that we've been watching, though. This is the current information that we have from BC Wildfire Service regarding fire danger, and it really has changed a whole lot over the last few days. Just last week, large parts of the north were under moderate to high. It has remained moderate in some places, but it is still low in some others. That is quite the improvement, actually, and in parts of the Cariboo, and we also see parts of the central province under low to very low, and on Vancouver Island, where it's actually gone down quite a lot, so that is a good sign. One thing that we are watching, though, and it might be hard to see on this map, but there's Pennask Summit, and then there's Kootenay Pass. Special weather statement in place for a couple of these areas right now. Over Tuesday and Wednesday morning, some accumulations of snow, just up to 4 centimeters. Not a whole lot, but something to account for if you plan on driving through these two routes. Let's take a look at conditions for tomorrow. Over much of the province, the cloudy conditions will persist, and then we'll see a chance of showers over much of the province. And take a note of that continued thunderstorm risk in places like Dease Lake, in the Peace region, Prince George and Williams Lake, as well as for parts of southern BC, in the interior and in the Kootenays. So that is something to account for as well. Let's take a look now at the 5-day forecast for Metro Vancouver. We'll have a bit of a change, just a small one, but a possibility to see some sun on Tuesday and Wednesday to get us through to the midweek point, clearing skies Thursday and Friday, and then heating up to about 23 degrees for daytime highs on Saturday, and then there's sunny skies on Saturday.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Steve.
My pleasure.
At one point, their mail was seized, their product considered obscene. Now, years later, Little Sisters is being celebrated by Canada Post. That story is next.
I'm Stephen Quinn, and I love living here in Vancouver, BC. It's a city with world-renowned beauty, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. In our new daily podcast, This is Vancouver, we're exploring the diverse range of issues and stories in the city, the good, the bad, and everything in between, as told by the people who live it every day. Don't miss This is Vancouver, available wherever you get your podcasts, and I'll talk to you soon.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and this is your CBC Inbox.
Celebrate the soccer spirit with CBC. Starting June 11th, our outdoor plaza becomes the ultimate CBC home pitch. Join us for pre-match activities, live performances, and more. Event details at cbc.ca/homepitch. And join us on June 20th and 21st at Burnaby Swangard Stadium for the Pinoy Festival. Enjoy live music, authentic food, and vibrant traditions.
It's an iconic part of Vancouver's Pride history, and now it's being honored as one of Canada Post's Places of Pride. As Leanne Yu explains, Little Sisters Book and Art Emporium is getting its own stamp.
They came in just yesterday, which was a nice surprise.
More than 40 years of history captured in a postage stamp.
Little Sisters is gonna be this little guy here.
Little Sisters Book and Art Emporium is an iconic part of Vancouver's queer history. And now it's one of 4 sites recognized in Canada Post's Places of Pride series. Tell me who's on this stamp here.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have a look here, we've got Jim and Bruce. We also have Janine.
From right to left, co-founders Jim Diva and Bruce Smith, and longtime manager Janine Fuller.
One of the reasons that Little Sisters is being recognized is that it won a landmark court case against the government of Canada, which upheld the rights of queer people, not just within British Columbia, but all across Canada.
In 1985, the Canada Border Customs Agency began seizing Little Sisters orders, labeling the material obscene. The bookstore fought back legally and wound up being targeted in multiple cases of vandalism over the years. In '96, the BC Supreme Court ruled the border agency still had the right to seizure.
The central claim at the heart of Little Sisters' case was that customs should not have the right to do this at all because they do not have the expertise to deem what is or isn't obscene when it comes to queer community and queer culture.
Little Sisters escalated the issue to the Supreme Court of Canada as a violation of charter rights and freedoms.
Now, customs must prove that something is obscene when they seize it, rather than the other way around after it's been seized in order to get it back. It was a fight against censorship that benefits all Canadians, not just queer Canadians.
Their hard-fought victory now depicted on a stamp.
I think it's fantastic. It's really nice to see not only queer history represented, but local queer Vancouver history.
I think it's excellent, and I think the stamps are great.
I think that's a great honor. It shows the support of the Pride community. I think it's great. I'm really pleased to see that.
The design also reflects some of the bookstore's joy.
There's a little bit of an Easter egg in here. So there's the cat as well. The store was named after their cat, Little Sister.
The stamps can be found at all Canada Post outlets. Leanne Yu, CBC News, Vancouver.
Thank you for being with us tonight on CBC Vancouver News at 6. You can watch this newscast on CBC Gem, that's our free app, as well as on YouTube and our website, cbc.ca/BC. I will have your next local news at 11 o'clock. That's right after the National. Have a good night.